today I want to tell you guys the story of Shannon Sharpe, the goofy ex-NFL player who decided to gamble his career away by dating an OnlyFans model who's 20 years old. One thing I understood about America is just because you were born in America and you grew up in America and lived in America your whole life did not mean you understood America. One thing, and I learned that experience when I went to college. I went to college for computer engineering, and I got introduced to the idea of fraternities. And the whole thing about fraternities didn't make sense to me. Why would I cater and pay a bunch of dudes just so they can be my friends? And it's not even like I'm creating a relationship with the next CEO of some big company. I'm just creating a relationship with the next manager of Abercrombie. And so the whole idea didn't make sense to me. And so I never joined. And what I would notice is I was around a lot of black fraternities, Sigma, Beta, Gamma, whatever. And so what I would notice is I would go to class. Before I get to class, I would see them outside practicing a goofy dance called strolling. I would go to class, they're strolling outside. I would come back from class, they're still strolling. And what I understood is that these guys really didn't take school serious. They were taking all these easy majors and didn't have to do much schooling just so they can have time to practice strolling. And practicing strolling instead of going to school, instead of getting an internship, is how you end up being the manager of Forever 21 after college and getting to this weird debt just for that. It never makes sense. I'm from Africa. I came to America when I was 12 years old. One thing I knew about America is I'm black. I'm at a disadvantage at birth. So when I'm graduating from college, my resume is competing with other kids who got better reputation than us black people. And so I understood that for me to be able to make my way up and get a good job, I needed to come out of school with a lot of experience. So what I did is I built apps for people for free. I would go to a restaurant, see if they needed an app. I would build them just so for me to learn. I try to work on any project I could get my hands on, just so I can come out out of college prepared. And when I came out of college, my first job I had, I made $95K, and I never made less than that ever since I graduated college. And what was sad is you had these black kids who grew up in America, and they didn't understand their place in society. Instead of getting an internship, instead of getting experience, go to school and get a good degree that will serve you for something. Nah, this dude went into strolling. And come to find out, I went back home the other day and I saw one working at Forever 21 as a manager. So you went to school and got into debt just so you can be a Forever 21 manager? So that's what made sense to me. So a guy who came from Africa, got here at 12 years old, understood the nature of America better than the person who was born in the system. So a lot of time, when you're born in a system and you grew up in a system, instead of understanding the system, you become blind to reality. And that's what I saw from these black kids when I was going to college. Those kids that I went to college with, that didn't understand that they were black, and be black in America means you're at a disadvantage at birth, that you had to work extra harder than the white kid, that you should be doing the stuff that the white kids are doing because they got backup plans and you don't. They got a dad who's probably got a lot of connections and you don't. In this story, those kids is Shannon Sharpe, a 56-year-old who got a great career going for himself. He got a great podcast. He got a great career at ESPN. He's booming. And so everybody sees that you're making a lot of money. In America, when you're black and you're making a lot of money, you become a target. I came here when I was 12, and I understand that. He's been living in America for 56 years old, for 56 years. How did he not understand that? You wanted to gamble by dating an OnlyFans model who's a professional thot? I just don't understand it. Shannon Sharpe is a perfect example why it's not true when they say the older you get, the wiser you get. It's just not true. A lot of time it means the older you get, the more money you make, the dumber you make, the dumber decisions you make. If you don't care, if you didn't care about your job, if you don't care about how people are going to perceive you in society, at least think about your kids. Your kids are in their 30s. This kid that you're dating is 20. That means your youngest kid is at least 10 years older than her. I mean, you got to have some kind of shame. I just don't understand it. And what makes it even worse is that Shannon Sharpe was in the NFL. And if you know anything about the NFL, is that most NFL players, after their career's over, they go broke. They go broke for various reasons. So you would think somebody like Shannon Sharpe, who's been in the NFL for a long time, and when you're in the NFL for a long time, and he's played for Baltimore, he's played for the Broncos, so he's built a lot of relationship with a lot of players. So he must have seen a lot of people's failures, from bad financial decisions to bad investment to bad choices of wives. So you would think somebody like that would have amassed a lot of wisdom from seeing other people fail, because he clearly didn't fail. So you would think he'll be wise. You would think that he's seen so many people fail that he'll know what to do. But no, he did it. I want to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys how a person goes from being a regular person to a OnlyFans model. For a girl to become an OnlyFans model, there's usually steps. It's like how NBA players, they go through certain things till they get to the NBA. You start playing middle school basketball, then you start playing high school basketball, and if you're good enough, you go to D1 or D2, and if you're okay, you start playing JUCO, then you can make your way up all the way to D1, then you make it your way to the NBA, or sometimes you go to the G League and get to the NBA, or sometimes you go to Europe and then make yourself to the NBA. So it takes time. Just like girls who want to be OnlyFans model, there's a process. It usually starts in high school. It's usually girls who don't got a dad at home. Dad ain't around. Mom works too many jobs. And so now you got a lot of freedom. And because mom got to pay a lot of the bills, she can't keep a close eye on you. And so you start lying to mom that you're going to the movie theater to hang out with your girls, but you're really going with the boys. You start wearing little mini skirts at school. Mom got a lot going on because she's alone. She got to raise you. So she ain't paying attention to these little things. Then you finish high school. You either move out, go to college, or you move out, you start living with your friends. And so you get a little freedom. So that's when the thotting really starts. You probably get a job at Hooters. See, Hooters is the entry point to all professional thots. You start working at Hooters, you start showing a little skin, you start getting them tips, and you get a little older. Then the older you get, the more you start to realize that Hooters is not going to be able to keep up with the lifestyle that you need. So you start wearing at those bars, those sports bars where you gotta be half naked, and you start realizing that you can work tips by flirting with men. And you're showing a lot more skin that you were showing at Hooters. You start working the tips, then eventually you start realizing that working that one job is not good enough, because you gotta go on trips, you gotta keep up with the manicure and pedicure, you gotta keep up with social media. So you're like, well, I need another job. And so that's when you become a bottle girl. You become a bottle girl, you start meeting high rollers, you find yourself a Nigerian, you start dating the Nigerian, he start tricking on you. 2 years later, the Nigerian get arrested. And so you're like, well, damn, my cash cow is gone, so now I need something else. Then you start realizing that maybe I can start sending feet pictures online. So you start sending feet pictures online, and that started working a little more. You start making a little money off of it. So you start realizing, well, if my fit pictures is making a little money, I wonder what my body will do if I start selling it. So then you move on to the next stage. So that was like if you were in D1 college. So now you're trying to get to the NBA. Well, then that's when you join the OnlyFans platform. What you realize from that story is that it's a process. It's a 4 to 5 year process that you gotta go through. This girl, she didn't have to go through a process. She's a special thought. She got there at 20 years old. She's different. She's Cooper Flagg. She's Kobe Bryant. She's Kevin Garnett. Straight out of college, straight out of high school. She got to the big leagues. She's a special type of thought. Dating that girl is like challenging Cooper Flag to a one-on-one duel, and you betting your whole bank account. You're not gonna win. He's a special talent, just like she is. She's a special type of thought. She's a special talent. And that's why you wanted to date. She's so rotten that she didn't even have to go through the 4 to 5 year process. She got there at 20. That means she was already rotten by the time she got out of high school. If I know it, everybody knows that. And that's who you wanted in your life. This is what happened when you got all these black kids who grew up in fucked up homes, no mom, dad, or no dad, mom, living with grandma, no sense of family, getting a little money, and you start making bad decisions because you got no sense of family, no sense of responsibility. Nobody's gonna tell you, hey, Shannon, don't do this, you shouldn't do that. And that's what this is. Kids who are just fucked up in the head, grew up with a lot of trauma, and there's nobody to tell them what's right or wrong. And it's really quite sad. And so instead of understanding what happened and getting lessons out of it, people in society, or black people in society, always getting the wrong lesson. Or you need to stop messing with the white girls. Yeah, it's the white girl. Huh? We saw Ant-Man dating the black girl. She got pregnant. Ant-Man told her, hey, I don't want to be a father. So I'm going to give you this money. Let's agree on the price. I'm going to give it to you so you can go get an abortion and get yourself something nice. So he gave her a lot of money. Guess what? She didn't get the abortion. She wanted to trap the man. She was black. So is it really a black and white thing? No, it's not. It's just, you just got to be smart and understand what America is. When you're black and you're rich, you're a target. And you 56-year-old, you're a big target. Are you trying to date young kids? And I'm not even opposed to dating a young girl. Okay, she's over 18. She has the right to make a decision. She has the right to date who she want to date. If she want to date an older guy, that's on her. She's getting something out of it. He's getting something out of it. What I don't understand that why she gotta be an OnlyFans model. An OnlyFans model is a professional prostitute. I just don't understand it. If you really want to get freaky, there's services that provide that. You pay a professional who's probably better than a 20-year-old because she got more experience. She probably practices dick sucking at home because that's her job. She practices dick sucking the same way Kobe Bryant is in the gym. She's a professional. Why not pay her? There's a lot of IG models who are out there just looking for men to date. But you chose to date a 20-year-old OnlyFans model. I will never understand it. This is why getting older in America doesn't mean you get wiser. And just because you're born in America and grew up in America doesn't mean you understand what goes on in America. I'm African. I will never make that decision. I understand the people that count on me back home. I understand the sacrifice that my dad had to make for me to get here. I can never make that type of decision. I can never put my life at risk like that. If I want to get freaky, I'll just pay a service. Why would I put myself in that type of situation? So I blame Shannon Sharpe 100% for this. You are 56 years old. You are too grown to make this type of mistakes. Welcome to America, the land of opportunities, the land where you can make something out of nothing, the land where every subject we talk about has become a racial issue. I don't quite understand it. We can't talk about anything, and any issue that comes up in America, it turns into black and white. We can't even have a simple debate about sports without talking about race. It's quite sad. Ryan Clark, I wish I could say this to your face, but you're corny, bro. People like you are the reason why I started this podcast, so I can tell the truth. You're race baiting. You just brought up race in a conversation where race has no place. We're talking about two athletes. What does race have to do with that? RGIII made a comment that Angel Reese hates Kaden Clark and that she's jealous. Now, You have the right to have an opinion. You have the right to also disagree with it. If you're gonna disagree with it, then show us why you don't think it's true. Show us why you think Angel Reese is not jealous of Caitlin Clark or that she doesn't hate Caitlin Clark. This man went on to some rant about how RG3, because he's married to a white girl, he doesn't understand what black women go through. What does this have to do with the fact that Angel Reese is Brick Barbie? We can't criticize black athletes anymore. I just don't quite understand it. We know you could clearly see that Angel Reese hate Caitlin Clark. It's quite obvious. You can tell how a person feels by how they behave, by how they act. How do we know that Shannon Sharpe was a bird-ass dude? Because he's a big-ass dude who's walking around with tight-ass pants, looking like a pregnant soccer mom. And then he's always walking around with his stylist, who look like he likes to eat bananas without biting it. So we can tell who he is by how he behaves and who he hangs out around and how he acts. We know that Angel Reese hate Caitlin Clark because for one example is one time Caitlin Clark was driving down the lane and she whacked the girl across the face for no reason. And she got a technical foul for it. Second example, she felt the need to go into a press conference and bring up the fact that Caitlin Clark is not the only reason why people are watching the WNBA. Why do you feel the need to bring that up if it's not jealousy? If you feel like you bring something to the table, then just let it be. Why do you feel the need to bring up the fact that people are also watching the women basketball because of you? That's jealousy. Third example is what happened a couple days ago. And Caitlin Clark is what, 140 pounds, 150? Against this big-ass girl. She slapped the ball hard and she fell like she got pushed. And got all mad because, oh, it was a hard foul. Come on, man. We could all see that wasn't a hard foul. That was a common foul. The only reason why she got attacked is because the referee felt the need to calm down the nerves. Otherwise, she's going to go on TV again and talk about, oh, the refs are against me. Everybody against me. The whole world against me. I don't quite understand it. She hates Caitlin Clark. She's jealous. She's jealous because she got a white girl who's more talented than her, who been kicking her ass. They just blew him out by 30. We can all see that's jealousy. And there are two types of jealousies. The first jealousy is a good jealousy. It's a jealousy that people like me have. It's the short-lived jealousy. You get jealous about something, you get jealous about somebody, you think about it for a few hours, you think about it for a few minutes, you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, it's a new day, you forget about it. The second type of jealousy is a bad type of jealousy. It's a jealousy that you think about every day, that you nurture in your heart. It grows. It keeps growing every day. You keep thinking about it. It grows in you so much, it turns into bitterness. That's the bad type of jealousy. That's the jealousy that leads people to do bad things against other people. That's the type of jealousy that Angel Reese has. That's the jealousy that you need to stay away from. And one thing about jealousy that I realize is it just keeps you from achieving your real goals. Because the person you're jealous of, you're never going to be them. Angel Reese will never going to be Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark will never be Angel Reese. God gave Caitlin Clark talent that Angel Reese does not have. And it's not going to change no matter how she feels, no matter how many press conferences she does, no matter how many times she complains that Caitlin Clark is not the only reason why they're watching women basketball. It does not matter. Her talent is what got her there, and her talent is not going to change no matter how you feel. And for Ryan Clark to come up with this weird analysis about RG3 not understanding what black women go through. I don't need to understand what black women go through. I understand what my eye sees is that she's Brick Barbie. She cannot play. She misses layups. And she's always trying to have a confrontation with a girl who seems to not be with that kind of stuff. You can tell that Caitlin Clark is not that type of girl. She doesn't like confrontation. She's from Iowa. She's from nowhere. The only interesting place in her hometown is probably Walmart. She ain't trying to fight. And so you got this girl Angel Reese, who's always trying to be the bully since college. She's always trying to be the bully, always trying to fight somebody, always trying to tell people you're not built like that. And so you created this image of the villain. And this image has served you well because you're making a lot more money than people who are more talented than you. You got all this endorsement deal. But the day when you get criticized, now you become a victim. See, I hate that victim mentality. That's a weak mentality right there. You always want to play the victim. She wasn't a victim when McDonald's was giving her the endorsement deal. All of a sudden, we want to play this black card. It's quite weak, honestly. It needs to stop. If you want to defend Angel Reese, defend her based on what the other person that you're debating with said. If you think that Angel Reese is not jealous, then you prove us why she's not jealous. This is not a black and white debate. It's just quite corny, honestly. I get to walk around. I get to watch podcasts. All these sports podcasts of people having takes. I get to see all these black athletes out here talking about Cooper Flag won't pan down. Cooper Flag won't change the franchise. How come Cooper Flag won't change the franchise? Honestly, because he's white. That's really what they want to say. Cooper Flag won't change the franchise because he's white. Oh, because he's not going to be able to play defense. He's not going to have a bag. Have you ever seen a white boy who plays good defense in the league? I don't see Max Kellerman out here defending white boys. I don't see white sports analysts coming out and defending white boys. Oh, it's racial. So we can say that. We can say that Cooper Flag won't pan out because he's white. That's not a problem. But the minute somebody, this wasn't even a white person. This was a black athlete, ex-athlete who said that Angel Reese is jealous. The minute he says that it's racial, he started talking about white girls. And I'm not even a fan of black men dating white girls. But this conversation has nothing to do with that. And so you got all these black athletes who are telling me that Cooper Flag won't pan out because he's white. And that's actually another corny statement. Because we can all see one of Cooper Flag's biggest attribute is defense, his ability to block shots. He's the first athlete that I've seen. He's the first player coming out of college that I've seen that has a complete game, that has no weakness. Now, he might not be doing everything at an elite level yet, but he does everything well or good. He's a good passer. He's a good shooter. He's a good free throw shooter. He's tall. He can play defense. He got a mid-range. He got a post-up game. The kid can do it all. But it's okay for us to say he's not going to pan out because he's white. But we can't talk about Angel Reese. Angel Reese is just bitter. She's bitter because it was a rivalry between them two. When it was in college, it was between Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. Then they get to the WNBA, and we can clearly see that one is more talented than the other. And I could have told you that a long time ago. It was pretty clear. And she's mad because she's just not panning out. And you being bitter isn't going to change that. You want to get better? Start working your game. Instead of twerking on concerts, instead of going to the Olympics, wasting time trying to be a pop star, get in the gym. And even if she does get in the gym, the gap is just too wide. The gym can help you get better, but the gym cannot make you go from untalented to talented. She's just not talented. So Ryan Clark is just wrong. It's just pathetic. Comparing Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark is like comparing Amazon to Alibaba. There's just no comparison. And there's always something missing about Angel Reese's game. I just don't get it. It's like there's always something off. She makes nice moves, but can't finish. Her shooting mechanics is not terrible, and the ball never goes in. She's supposed to be ambidextrous, and she's supposed to be right-handed, but she makes more left-handed layups than right-handed layups. It's like there's always something missing. She's Kool-Aid without sugar. She's Draymond without Steph. I just don't get it. And I saw her play against Caitlin Clark. She shot the ball 14 times. Why would this girl shoot the ball 14 times? At what point does the Chicago Fire understand that what we drafted is not a superstar? What we drafted is a rebounder. All she can do is rebound. Her role should be screen, roll, rebound. Screen, roll, rebound. If you feel the need for Angel Reese to shoot the ball 15 times on your team and feel like that gives you the best chance to win, you got bigger problems. And it makes sense why they're 0-5. They haven't won a single game. You got Angel Reese shooting the ball 15 times, you got big problems. And you feel the need to lash out every time you see that white girl. And we can't say that you're jealous? Ryan Clark, you're corny. You really are corny. You get paid all this money to go on TV and make smart takes based on stats, based on observation, based on eye test. But you decided to bring your personal feelings and your personal feud towards somebody to the workplace. And you started talking about race and some kind of agenda against black women. Something that had nothing to do with the conversation. He didn't even talk about race. He's not even white. And it's just quite sad, this victim mentality that people have, feel the need to be victim all the times. So Ryan Clark, you're corny.
This has been The Guru. Unapologetic and unfiltered opinions on the hottest sports stories. Breaking everything down from basketball and football to soccer and the UFC. And might we add, your host is always right. Just ask him. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on TikTok and Instagram. He's gonna stop talking for now. See you next time on The Guru.